You've probably had a moment where someone disagreed with you. Instead of addressing your point, they went after you. Maybe it was a small thing, a pause, a tone, a detail they decided meant more about your character than your claim. And the strange part is how quickly the conversation stopped being about the idea at all. You can feel the shift. The argument dissolves and the person becomes the topic. What's unsettling is how natural that shift feels in the moment. It feels like relevance. It feels like evidence, but it rarely is. And noticing that subtle swap is the beginning of the problem the ad hominem fallacy exploits. The ad hominem isn't about disagreement. It's the moment the mind treats a person as a shortcut for a claim. It's when criticism of someone is used as if it were criticism of what they said. It's when the target moves from the idea to the speaker, but the conclusion pretends that nothing has changed. The danger is that the structure still feels like reasoning, even though the content has quietly inverted. What the mind seems to be doing here is trading complexity for certainty. Evaluating an idea requires effort, ambiguity, and the discomfort of possibly being wrong. Evaluating a person is faster. A gesture, a tone, a past mistake. The mind can turn these into signals of trust or distrust with almost no friction. And once that frame takes over, the actual argument becomes background noise. A subtle cognitive shift happens. The goal stops being accuracy and becomes prediction. Can I trust this person, even when trust is irrelevant to whether their claim is true? And because this shift happens beneath awareness, it can feel like the idea failed when only the framing failed. Imagine someone points out that a number you repeated earlier might be slightly off. They're not attacking the idea itself, just your reliability. But in the moment, your attention instinctively moves to defending yourself, not refining the claim. Or take a discussion where someone dismisses a suggestion because you're always overly cautious. Nothing in that statement touches the content of the suggestion. It only gestures at a trait and lets that trait stand in for reasoning. The mechanism is small and ordinary, which is exactly why it passes unnoticed. The cost of missing this move is subtle but wide. Once disagreement becomes person-shaped, accuracy isn't even on the board. The conversation shifts into a battle over identity, reputation, or suspicion, territories where truth has very little leverage. And when this pattern repeats often enough, uncertainty feels threatening instead of useful. You start treating ideas as if they come preloaded with the virtues or flaws of the person who say them, rather than evaluating the structure of the claim itself. What quietly breaks here isn't logic, it's the boundary between who someone is and whether something is true. The arguments stop being about ideas the moment the person feels easier to judge than the reasoning. And that's the real hazard. It's not the insult, not the tone, but the effortless seduction of swapping the claim for the claimant. Sometimes the mind isn't defending itself. It's defending the shortcut that made the judgment feel simple. And that shortcut is the first place certainty collapses when you learn to cut with doubt. Stay curious.